Welcome to Rise Within Channel. I'm glad you're here. What you're about to hear is not just content, it's a conversation and life lesson. One that I hope meets you exactly where you are and leaves you somewhere better. Let's begin. Episode 5, The Morning You Choose Yourself Changes Everything. There is a particular kind of morning that changes everything. Not the morning when everything suddenly goes right. Not the morning when the breakthrough arrives, or the phone call comes, or the opportunity presents itself. But the quiet, ordinary morning may be like this one, when you wake up and make one decision that most people never quite manage to make. The decision to choose yourself, not over everyone else, not in cruelty or selfishness, but in the deepest sense, to decide that your growth matters, that your well-being is worth protecting, that the life you want to build deserves to be treated like a real priority rather than a someday wish. That morning changes everything, and for many people, it starts right now. Part 1. The culture of self-abandonment. We live in a culture that teaches self-sacrifice as virtue. We are taught, especially those of us raised in communities that value family, tradition, and service, that putting yourself first is a form of selfishness, that the good person is the one who always has time for others, always makes themselves available, always puts their own needs at the back of the line. And there is beauty in that. Service is real. Generosity is real. Love that gives without counting is one of the finest things a human being can offer. But there is a version of this teaching that has become a trap. A version that teaches people, particularly women, but people of all backgrounds, to so completely subsume their own needs, desires, and dreams into the service of others that eventually they disappear. They become indispensable to everyone around them and invisible to themselves. A woman who spends 20 years putting everyone else first and then looks in the mirror one morning and does not recognize who she has become. A man who builds a career to provide for his family and wakes up at 55 realizing he has never once asked himself what he actually wanted from his life. The body they lived in, they never truly inhabited. Part 2. Choosing yourself is not selfishness. You cannot pour from an empty cup. It is one of the most repeated phrases in the personal development world, and it is repeated that often because it is deeply, practically true. When you consistently deprioritize your own well-being, your sleep, your dreams, your mental health, your passions, your growth, you do not become more available for others. You become less. You become depleted, resentful, distracted, and ultimately less present for the very people you are trying to serve. Choosing yourself is not the opposite of loving others. It is the prerequisite. The airline industry understood this long before the self-help world did. Put on your own oxygen mask before assisting others. Not because your life matters more than the child next to you, but because a conscious, breathing adult is infinitely more capable of helping than an unconscious, depleted one. When you sleep enough, you are a better partner, parent, and friend. When you pursue your own growth, you model courage for the people watching you. When you pursue your dreams, when you honor the things that make you come alive, you fill yourself with a quality of energy that everyone in your life gets to benefit from. Part 3. What it actually looks like. Choosing yourself does not require dramatic declarations or life-altering changes. It starts small. It starts in the margins of the day. It is the 30 minutes in the morning that you guard as sacred, before the phone, before the requests begin, before the day makes its demands. A time that belongs only to you, for movement, for reading, for writing, for prayer, for stillness. Whatever it is that reconnects you to yourself. It is learning to say no, not with guilt, not with elaborate justification, but with the quiet confidence of someone who understands that their time and energy are finite and valuable. Every yes to something that drains you is a no to something that could fill you. It is the conversation you have with yourself, the honest one where you admit what you actually want, not what you were told to want, not what is acceptable to want, but what you, in the quiet, honest space of your own awareness, genuinely desire for your one life. Robin Sharma writes about this. The idea that every great life is built in the first hour of the morning, that the quality of your morning determines the quality of your year, and that the people who accomplish the most extraordinary things are very often not the most talented, but the most intentional about how they begin. Part 4. The compound effect of daily self-respect. Here is the beautiful truth about choosing yourself consistently. It compounds. Every morning you honor your own growth, even in the smallest way, sends a message to your subconscious. A message that says, I matter, my life matters. The things I want are worth showing up for. Over time, that message reshapes everything. How you carry yourself, what you tolerate, what you pursue, what you believe is possible. The person who has been choosing themselves consistently for 6 months looks fundamentally different, not on the outside, but in their eyes, their voice, their sense of what they deserve from the person who has been putting themselves last. Self-respect is not a feeling that arrives one day. It is a practice, a daily act of showing up for yourself as seriously as you show up for everyone else. We are going to the closing. Somewhere in your life right now, there is something you have been putting last. A dream, a need, a desire, a part of yourself that keeps getting pushed to the end of the list because everything else feels more urgent. I want to ask you to move it, not to the very top if that feels impossible, but one place higher than it currently is. One morning of choosing yourself, and then another, and then another. That is how the life you actually want gets built. One morning at a time, one choice at a time, one act of self-respect at a time. The morning you choose yourself, it changes everything, and today is a morning. Before you go, carry this with you today. The most powerful relationship you will ever have is the relationship you have with yourself. Until next time, keep ascending.
Please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. We can grow together.